let's get to talking about the fucking criminals known as the Tate brothers, and that they are facing extradition to the UK now due to a number of new charges that have been filed against them. These court documents, which were unsealed on Monday, and now these charges are added to the very, very long list of charges that they already have.
Trees, any one of these rocks,
these rapist, sex trafficking
Andrew
monsters
and Tristan Tate are currently in federal custody in Florida
with terrible fashion.
After a court ruled they will remain detained while they fight extradition to the United Kingdom. The brothers, high-profile supporters of Donald Trump and self-described misogynists, we have photos of them we can show you, are prominent members of the manosphere who use their influence to promote male dominance. And it's allegedly more than just words, according to newly unsealed federal filings that detail the charges being brought by UK prosecutors.
Yeah, and mind you, Andrew Tate has said things like rape victims must bear responsibility for their attacks. That guy, that he dates women who are age 18 and 19 because he can, quote, make an imprint on them. That he advocates frequently for dominating women via violent ways. That is how you are a man, a real man in this world, is to treat women like the objects that they are. That's that guy.
Between 2010 and 2017, the brothers are also accused of choking women, sometimes until they passed out, and then raping them. They also face accusations of trafficking women. Their attorney, Joseph McBride, says that Marco Rubio and the rest of the Trump administration are not fans of, quote,
yeah, their attorney, who's such a fucking loser, obviously. This guy who represents the Tates is obviously a loser, but he calls himself the third Tate brother. He represented January 6th insurrectionists. That's that guy.
Prosecuting people for free speech, and he hopes the administration will intervene.
Yeah.
We are, of course, objecting to extradition because Andrew and Tristan are innocent. They've never done nothing wrong. They shouldn't be extradited for crimes they did not commit. Politically motivated.
It's like when you are a sex criminal, a real misogynistic, violent piece of shit like the Tates, of course, this is the lawyer that you get. This guy. They never did nothing. They never did nothing. And yes, they have built an entire empire around the violent control and coercion of women. And they advocate openly for treating women very violently for dominating them. That's how you be a man in this world. Yes, these things that totally line up with the crimes that they have been charged with, but no, they're innocent. They're just out here advocating for these things that they have been charged of, but it's just things they've said and not done.
Any one of these trees or any one of these rocks could answer that question. Yes, it's politically motivated. There's no question about it.
This is not the first round of allegations. Romanian prosecutors have been investigating the brothers since 2022, accusing them of forming an organized crime group and trafficking women. Here they are. Andrew Tate also faced rape charges there, though a court threw out that case. Now the UK...
Yeah, hard to beat allegations of trafficking when they made YouTube videos detailing how to groom women into OnlyFans. Yeah. That they have built their entire business around violent misogyny. You're telling me these guys have, 59 charges involving rape, sexual assault, child sexual abuse material, extreme pornography, sex trafficking. You're telling me that these guys,
Crown Prosecution
are
Service
guilty
says
of
they're
that?
seeking extradition for the brothers. The question now is, will the Trump administration intervene like the lawyer wants? As the New Yorker reports, the Tates have an in through Donald Trump's sons. Andrew Tate
That is the question here, and that is what the Tates are relying on. Now, something important to know is that there is a special relationship between the US and the UK when it concerns extradition. And in 2007, a strengthened extradition treaty went into effect, which is supposed to mean that the US and the UK are bound to turn over people who are accused of crimes when the other country is demanding that they be extradited. Of course, during the first Trump administration, already exceptions were made to this. There was an American diplomat's wife who had hit and killed a teenager with her car in England, and the UK demanded that she be turned over. But Mike Pompeo said, nope, diplomatic immunity, and pissed off the British authorities. So the question is, seeing as the Tates don't have diplomatic immunity and they are violent rapist criminals, is Donald Trump, via Marco Rubio, who's Secretary of State, going to step in again, which would not only obviously send the message that Trump he's a rapist himself, but Trump is Team Tate Brothers and nothing you can do about it, but also would violate this strengthened extradition treaty.
Forged relationships with Barron and Donald Trump Jr. in the weeks before the 2024 vote, as Andrew Tate pushed pro-MAGA content and helped mobilize young men in big numbers for Trump. Kamala Harris even credited Tate as a key factor in her defeat. And it was after Trump's inauguration that Andrew Tate predicted he would get past these charges, posting on X, quote, "The Tates will be free. Trump is the president." Since the election and inauguration, the Tates have been running in the same circles as other Trump allies. Just days before their arrest, the brothers were at a party for Paolo Zampoli, Trump's special envoy for global partnerships. And Vice President J.D. Vance follows both Andrew and Tristan on X. They are just...
Paolo Zampoli, who, may I remind you, is the piece of shit who asked Trump to use ICE to detain the mother of his child as they were in a custody battle. Paolo Zampoli, who is connected to Epstein, of course, because they're all fucking connected to one another. All these pedophiles, these billionaire shit fucks. Yeah, that guy. So he's the one who had ICE detain the mother of his child, and she was deported to Brazil, which is where I think she's from. Horrible human being. Horrible.
2 of 1,500 people that the vice president follows on the platform. Not very many follows there.
There were multiple players in the World Cup who weren't allowed to play matches in Canada or Mexico because they're wanted, supposed to stand trial in Europe, England, France, probably other nations as well. Yes, but we are the pedophiles united. We are the United States of pedophiles here.
Despite those connections, the State
Rapist,
Department says they
pedophile,
have
and
no
chief.
plans to act on behalf of the Tate brothers. But with Donald Trump's pardon track record, it is fair to ask, will those plans change?
Well.
Warrant remains sealed right
now. Controversial.
Currently, we have 2 significant extradition cases that we should be paying attention to, whether the U.S. will abide and extradite the Tates following extradition laws, and also Spain could very well stop the extradition of Fergie Chambers, and they should.
Social media influencers Andrew and Tristan Tate are in federal custody after U.S. officials arrested the brothers in Miami
Your country is crazy, girl.
Saturday.
It's all corrupt, girl.
The arrests are connected to criminal cases in the
girl.
United Kingdom, where authorities are seeking to extradite both men to face rape and other charges.
Andrew Tate now faces more than 30 counts stemming from alleged offenses between July of 2010 and August of 2017. Those counts include rape,
Yeah, I think we'll look at the Fergie Chambers case another day.
Assault, sex trafficking, and child pornography offenses. His brother, Tristan Tate, also faces multiple counts, including rape, sex trafficking, and sexual assault. They both deny any wrongdoing.
NBC News legal analyst Danny Savalas joins us now from the UK with more. Danny, good morning. So British authorities are saying that these new charges follow the discovery of additional evidence. What do we know about that and what led up to the arrests?
Well, according to what's been published by authorities here, the Bedfordshire police received a fresh file of new evidence, new alleged victims or complainants, bringing the number of complainants from 3 up to, I believe, 7, and dramatically increasing the number of charges up to over 40. So these are charges that initiated the U.S. Marshal Service to go out and initiate extradition proceedings.
So, Danny, the U.S. Marshal Service says the warrant remains sealed right now. Why would details of the charges be kept under seal at this point?
The charges themselves are not under seal. They are published on the website by law enforcement authorities here in the UK. But it's very common for the arrest warrant for the U.S. Marshals to be
rapists love other rapists.
Kept under seal because when you think about it, extradition often involves fugitives. Fugitives are people who are avoiding justice. So you don't want to telegraph that we're looking for fugitives by filing that in a court document. So the charges themselves are known and public.
The charges are also similar to the other charges against them, other allegations that involve a pattern here with the Tate brothers. So one through line is that they have been accused by many, many women of violently choking them, physically abusing them, and then raping them. And there was one woman who said that Andrew Tate had said that he was debating whether to rape her or not before he strangled and forced himself on her. That he and his brother both, it's not just Andrew Tate, it's Tristan Tate as well. He and his brother both have faced multiple charges that all detail the same violent rapist behavior.
Actual arrest warrant for the marshal, it's routine for that to be sealed, and then it will be unsealed at the first appearance. It's kept sealed so you don't telegraph to fugitives to go and run and go hide somewhere else.
The brothers are now awaiting extradition proceedings in the U.S. Is that a slam dunk? Does that mean they will go to Britain to face trial?
God, I hope.
Legally, it should be a slam dunk, but it likely won't be, and here's why. Extradition, at least international extradition, is the product of a treaty between the United States and whatever country is requesting it. We have a treaty with the UK. It's a powerful treaty. And by the way, some countries will not extradite their own citizens. Under the treaty, these folks can be extradited. But here's where it's tricky. If Andrew Tate has been a vocal supporter of President Trump, and there are a few ways the executive branch could slow down or even stop these proceedings. Number one, the DOJ has to file a complaint. It's just a formality, but they may choose not to or delay it. Number two, ultimately, no matter what the judge does here in the States, the Secretary of State has to sign and execute a warrant. And that could die on the Secretary of State's desk if the administration decides these are defendants that they want to prevent their extradition. Now, I couldn't find an instance of this ever happening in history, but at least under the law, it's possible.
Beyond the potential politics of this, we should note that the Tates, they're dual citizens in the U.S. and the UK. What does that mean for extradition proceedings? Could it complicate things at all?
No, that's least likely to complicate these proceedings. Some countries are reluctant to hand over their own citizens. The U.S. loves handing over their own citizens. I'm saying that as glibly because really we're very, very open to entering into extradition treaties with not just the U.K., but lots of countries. So we will turn over our citizens if the criteria are met. So, for example, if a foreign country has something out,
they are dual citizens,
that the United States would never make a crime, that might be grounds grounds to refuse extradition. But the mere fact that you hold a U.S. passport or are a dual citizen will not protect you like a force field from extradition proceedings. Their better argument is that these charges are old and really a pitch to the administration to say, hey, just slow this down and maybe throw up some roadblocks so we can stay here as long as possible.
All right, Danny Savalos, thank you so much.
Okay.
We thank you for watching.
This is a good quick video on the fuckery that was involved in why the travel restrictions were lifted on the Tates and why they were able to leave Romania. And yes, of course, it has to do with Donald Trump.
In February, after confinement in Romania, Andrew and Tristan Tate posted a video to their followers.
We're massively back, massively.
They were in a private plane being whisked to Florida. Since
God, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. And I believe, I'm holding out hope, okay? I am holding on to the belief that these motherfuckers are going down, finally. That they are finally going down, that they can no longer escape this. I am going to hang on to that. And I cannot wait to see their fucking faces, their stupid ass faces and their stupid ass outfits when that hammer comes down.
2022, they had been under criminal investigation in Romania. They had both been accused of trafficking dozens of women into a porn business that they ran. Andrew had also been accused of raping one of those women and of having sex with a 15-year-old. Prosecutors in Romania had prohibited them from leaving the country.
Feel that? It's the feeling of leaving Romanian soil.
This moment is the culmination of years of efforts by the Tates to cozy up to conservative influencers, members of the Trump family, and administration officials.
Yeah, in case people needed a reminder that Tucker Carlson is not a good guy, despite his change in tune on, say, the U.S. aiding Israel, the U.S. bombing Iran. This was one of the Tate's biggest supporters. Him, Candace Owens, the Trump boys, including Barron. Yep.
My name's Megan Toohey. I'm an investigative reporter here at the New York Times. My colleague Isabella Kwai and I have spent months interviewing dozens of people in Romania, the United States, and Britain. We have reviewed hours and hours of video clips, hundreds of pages of text messages and emails and court documents. And we're able to piece together how the American right helped the Tate brothers get out of Romania. Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan are major stars in the so-called manosphere.
Welcome to the party, gentlemen. He-Man, woman haters party. It's a man's party.
Andrew is a former professional kickboxer who built a huge online following, preaching unapologetic masculinity and chauvinism.
All of history was built by men, always has been.
If a woman is going out with a man, she belongs to that man. That's his woman.
He's told his audience that they were victims of feminism, that they've been maligned by the economy and brainwashed by the media.
You are now full slave mode, and that's all they want. So you will continue to work your shit job for shit money.
He and his brother have gained millions and millions of followers. They sell online courses to young men about how to make money and how to exploit women. That included this PhD program, short for Pimping Hose Degree. They share what they say they've learned in pushing their girlfriends into making online sexual content for paying customers.
It's not just about picking up girls. It's about converting them into really loving you enough to moving in with you and working.
Yeah, you know, this is such a performance, but it's not even a good performance. You know what I mean? I've never even understood how they had followers because they're not even... Yeah, Sky doesn't even seem like he believes what he says. They're not even good performers.
for you and giving you all the money.
The brothers, who have both American and British citizenship, started this porn business over a decade ago in Britain. In 2015, Andrew was arrested 3 times after multiple women accused him of assault. And while prosecutors eventually declined to bring charges, the investigation prompted...
Can Zoran arrest Benjamin Netanyahu and then also extradite these two? Can he just do that? Just he can figure it out. If anyone can just do it, he can do it.
Andrew to leave Britain. Andrew said that he thought that they'd be better served in Romania.
It's a little bit lawless, you know. You can get away with shit you can't get away with in the West.
Eventually, the brothers get banned from several of the biggest social media platforms, only to find new homes on Rumble, a site that was backed by J.D. Vance's venture capital firm, and Getter, a right-wing site. And then things really explode.
Yeah, it's like, use that relationship with the NYPD and Jessica Tisch. Come on, Zoran.
In December 2022, the brothers are arrested in Romania. They had been under criminal investigation for several months after a complaint that an American citizen had been held by them against her will. The brothers are charged with organizing a criminal group and trafficking 7 women into their porn business. And Andrew is also accused of raping one of those women. And later, prosecutors in Britain would bring charges of trafficking and rape against Andrew and Tristan. These additional charges that have been authorized will move forward once the Romanian case is complete. Through our reporting, we also found that the Tates have been quietly under investigation here in the United States by anti-trafficking agents and federal prosecutors. Andrew and Tristan Tate deny all allegations. While all of this is happening, they're building more and more powerful allies in the United States. In 2017, as Andrew tells it, he did a tweet in support of Donald Trump, and soon Andrew and Don Jr. had connected at Trump Tower.
The president's son, he made me a coffee. Like, he's a cool dude.
And this support and this relationship continues through 2023. When Andrew and his brother are placed under house arrest, Don Jr. sends out a tweet of support. By that point, the Tates had hired Joseph McBride, this attorney who had come to prominence representing Trump supporters accused of insurrection on January 6th. And McBride pitches his new client to conservative host Tucker Carlson, who travels to Romania and conducts a lengthy interview with Andrew in his mansion.
I mean, I was sympathetic to you already, but a man's accused of human trafficking. It's worth finding out what he's accused of.
The Tucker Carlson interview gets more than 112 million views. This is a key turning point. Soon, other high-profile conservatives are defending the Tates.
When I see some of these videos and I see conservatives assigning real meaning to you saying stuff that is just so obviously content for young boys.
Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan stand for the same things that I stand for.
These
rape
relationships are mutually beneficial. These conservatives are tapping into Tate's audience to expand their reach and connect with a demographic.
The fact that we have a timeline, the fact that there's a timeline that this stretches from the US to Romania to the UK. This is what I mean by come on. The walls are closing in. The walls are closed, please. Send their asses to the UK so they can stand trial for the many crimes they have committed.
That is crucial to the president's re-election campaign.
Listening to him with Tucker for an hour and a half, 2 hours,
yes.
I finally...
Oh, yes. In case you forgot, Charlie Kirk, big Andrew Tate fan.
Clicked. Okay, now I see why he's popular.
And by 2024, Barron Trump is also a fan. Barron hosts a dinner at Mar-a-Lago for several prominent conservative influencers. Yeah. One of them was Justin Waller, who has helped the Tates run their businesses and says that he's widely seen as the third brother. Waller told me that Barron admired the Tates, and he said that he and Barron called Andrew together and discussed the Tates case. When we reached out for comment, McBride called our reporting on the relationship between Andrew and Barron fake news.
God, why
So
are
the
they
Tate-
God, they look exactly like the disgusting losers that they are. Always. Always. They just fit the mold, you know?
Are building up a lot of support here in the United States. And after Trump is reelected, some of those supporters have even more power and influence than they did before. Paul Ingrassia, who had once served on the team.
Yeah, for liberals who'd be like, Barron, do the right thing here, Barron. Do the right. It's like Barron Trump is just as much of a fucking piece of shit as the rest of that family. Okay? So can we drop the Barron Trump is the chosen one? Barron Trump is going to be the savior here. No, he's just taller. Yeah, he's no different, just tall. He's the same as the rest of them. He's just taller.
Its legal team is now the White House liaison to the Justice Department. He had called Andrew Tate an extraordinary human being and a target of the deep state and the satanic elite. Alina Habba, who had served as a personal lawyer to Trump, was now a counselor to the president. She appeared on a podcast with Andrew in January.
We need strong, powerful voices like yours. And yeah, I got your back over
He doesn't think you're a human being, you dumb asshole.
here.
And this man, Richard Grinnell, a special diplomatic envoy for Trump, discussed the Tate's case with at least 2 Romanian officials. Our reporting found that one of those discussions took place last December at Mar-a-Lago with an advisor to the Romanian Prime Minister. Ponta told us that he had discussed the Tate's case with Grinnell. He then backpedaled and said they had not discussed the case. The other discussion was with Romania's foreign minister at a conference in Munich in February. In a statement to the Times, Grinnell said it was the foreign minister who raised the issue of the Tate.
Like, I just need these women to understand that these men will never actually protect you. These men protect these other men, these rapist, abusive, right-wing losers will always defend and protect one another. So they have solidarity. Yeah. they have rapist solidarity. And women who are a part of these circles, who are in this ecosystem, they don't see you as a human being. And as soon as you are no longer fulfilling the purpose that you serve, they will toss you to the curb. They will throw you in the trash. Like you're not, I know.
His statement did not address the Mar-a-Lago conversation. The public support from some of these allies set off alarm bells in Romania. Officials at the American embassy in Romania told us that they feared what would happen if their bosses in Washington instructed them to release new passports to the Tates in violation of the Romanian criminal justice system. It didn't come to that, but an extraordinary order came down from the highest levels of the Romanian government.
Yes.
On February 26th, Andrew sent a text message to someone close to him that we reviewed. He had been made aware that he was going to be released. He wrote, "I have very detailed instructions from the Americans about crossing borders, phones, passports, etc. I can't say more. This goes into instant effect." The next day, the Tates file a request that prosecutors lift their travel bans and return their passports. We spoke to sources who spoke to us on the condition of anonymity, who told us that the prosecutors did not want to do this. But the prime minister believed that lifting the travel bans would appease the Trump administration.
Yeah.
He did not respond to requests for comment. In the early hours of February 27th, the brothers were driven to a private plane.
No one has ever been more back than we just got.
This was one of the first things that Donald Trump did when he came back to office. One of the first acts of his second term was to orchestrate the Tate brothers safe passage out of Romania.
At the time, we asked McBride, their lawyer, whether the Trump administration had anything to do with their release. And he didn't answer the question directly, but he said, quote, "Do the math. These guys are on the plane." Once they're back in the United States, the Tates are filming themselves partying in Miami, looking at apartments in New York.
Yeah, so just to recap that, Trump admin officials pushed Romanian prosecutors to lift the travel restrictions, and then pressure came from the top of Romanian politics. And they then got on a private plane, and White House officials intervened again when they got into the U.S. and customs officials tried to seize their electronic devices. White House said, no, give those back. Don't ever do that again. And then they went off to party in Vegas and Miami and Dubai. So that's why it was like, hold on a second. So these sex criminals were in Romania and they were being investigated by these prosecutors. And the next thing is they're partying in Miami and Vegas. Okay. How did that happen? Well, Donald Trump.
Hobnobbing with Kanye West in Los Angeles, but they weren't welcomed by all. There were some conservatives who spoke out against them upon their arrival. Some said that they undermined traditional conservative values. Other people like...
How did they walk away? It's all corrupt, girl. No, it's exactly as I just explained. So they were being investigated by Romanian prosecutors, and the Trump and his administration intervened to allow them to leave Romania. And that is why they have been in the United States. They did not, of course, go to the UK. They are avoiding the UK because they don't have the safety. They don't have the cozy relationships that they do with Trump and U.S. officials.
Likened the allegations against them to the crimes of Jeffrey Epstein. Through all of this, it's becoming clear that there is a rift on the right. Trump says he knew nothing about it.
I know nothing about that. You're saying he's on a plane right now?
An official with the White House said it is not involved in anything related to the Tate's legal matters.
How did that
In March,
happen?
they returned to Romania for a court date and have not come back. Shortly after they left, one of Andrew's former girlfriends accused him of assaulting her when they reunited during his visit. You know, she said that when they had sex, he had beaten her and choked her to near unconsciousness.
Prior to that, the Tates were not allowed to leave Romania after they had been released from jail. Yes. Yeah. So this story that this allegation she's talking about right here, like I said, this is a pattern of violent behavior from the Tates. Like, this is so many women they have done this to, where they strangled them, nearly killed them, and violently raped them,
which he denies.
Yeah. I can just imagine Barron being like, "Daddy, get my sex criminal influencers out of prison now." Yeah, no, they have a big fan in Barron Trump, in Don Trump Jr. They claim the Tates are innocent and that this is a political thing. They are trying to silence important voices. They're trying to silence the biggest supporters of their father, Donald Trump. Makes me physically nauseous for how disgraceful the government is. No one stands for anything. Oh, they stand for power. They stand for making a lot of money. They stand for rape. They stand for pedophilia. They stand for things. They stand for the worst monsters in this world. Stand for sex crimes as long as it's their side that's doing it. Stand for Israel. Yeah. Indeed.